something like this.
Welcome to Storytime at the Rubus, a weekly podcast about the Bonnaroo Music and Arts Festival. I'm your host, Sharla.
And I'm Daniel, and happy birthday, Sharla.
Oh, why'd you have to bring that up?
Well, why shouldn't I? It was 2 days ago as of this recording, but we had a pretty fun weekend, right?
We did. We went to Atlanta, went to a couple places to eat, and we got to hang out with our friend Andrew after the Braves lost.
Yeah, well, that's another story. It's a long season. Anything can happen. But yeah, that was the highlight of my day, going to hang out with him for about an hour and having a drink at one of those places in the Battery. We nerded out about King Gizzard and Pond and Tame and everything. Him and I and some others are going to those shows at the Caverns here in a couple of months, a couple of weeks before Rue, and I can't wait.
Did you say you're more excited for those shows than Rue? Did I hear that?
I'm almost just as excited. I have never actually seen a show inside the Caverns. You and I went to see St. Paul and the Broken Bones at the outdoor amphitheater.
Yeah, it was outside because it was during COVID.
Yeah, we went inside to see the cave, but we haven't seen a show in the cave. So I am really looking forward to that and camping out with everybody that night. It's kind of like a different kind of mini Roo, but King Gizzard is headlining
Oh
it.
my goodness. So our friend Jo was just up there this weekend.
Yeah, I was just talking to her on the phone just a few moments ago. She went to go see John Summit over there, and apart from the weather, it rained on her really bad. She had nothing but good things to say about the Caverns.
That's such a cool venue.
They really have kind of become the local version of Red Rocks in a way. I know it's very different and the capacity is much smaller, but it's very similar in terms of having like a cool looking venue that you don't see anywhere else. And now it's kind of a double venue because you got outside and in the cave. So yeah, if you haven't gone over there, go check it out sometime.
For sure. Yeah, if you have not been to the Caverns, it's in Pelham, Tennessee. Definitely go at least once.
Yeah, go try it out.
Yeah.
So, Charlotte, again, happy birthday. You had a good time this past weekend?
For sure.
We got to give a shout out to Andrew, but also others. We ran into some other Ruvians at the ball game, but also at the Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo here in town. We ran into a few there. Thanks for coming to see us. I was able to host a couple of panels at that, and we were kind of like all over the place, seeing everybody's amazing costumes and everything. So, good to see some of you there. Do you want to talk about the fun thing that we're doing for your birthday next weekend?
So we are going down to Montgomery, and we're going to the Fitzgerald house, to the Fitz Gala. I've always wanted to go for years and years and years.
Yeah, so I have told this story to a couple of people in person, but the Fitzgeralds, you know, Scott and Zelda Fitzgerald, the authors, are kind of like mine and Charlotte's patron saints because they were partying all over the world like we aspire to, you know? We actually went and stayed a night at their Montgomery house. What was it, about a year and a half ago? Mm-hmm. It's very, very haunted. I think we talked with the ghost of Zelda while we were there. That was fun. But once a year, they host an annual gala. So you buy tickets. It's relatively inexpensive. It's a fundraiser for the museum. Charlotte has been wanting to go for years, and we're finally going this year.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So are we going to conjure any more Fitzgerald spirits while we're there? What's the plan?
I don't plan on conjuring any spirits.
Oh, okay.
But, I mean, you never know.
You never know.
So, Daniel, we have to talk about the thing that happened at Coachella, the stage.
Oh, my gosh. I am so glad that we are recording a day late because we can talk about what happened at Coachella last night. So, you know the whole story about what was different at weekend 2 at Coachella from weekend 1, right? Mm-hmm. So, for anybody that hadn't followed along, Frank Ocean had kind of a bummer of a performance last week and pulled out. Mm-hmm. So, last night, they had Blink-182 play, and then they had Skrillex, Fortet, and Fred again play the main stage to close things out. Charlotte, can you kind of describe what I just showed you for like the stage setup that they had for that?
So it was a circle stage in the middle of the crowd. So instead of using the main stage, they had literally a circle out in the middle.
I think some people call it in the round.
In the round?
Yeah,
okay.
It's kind of like after like a stage play, like Shakespeare would do.
Right.
Yeah. So this was amazing. I love that they did this for like a giant headliner set. It feels like more people can get closer. The sound is probably going to be different, but maybe even better in a situation like that. Looking at the video, it looks like they have giant hanging speakers in a lot of different directions. So no matter where you are, you're going to get good sound. And another big plus out of that to me was there's a lot of cool things that you can do with the lighting and lasers, like having it shoot up into the sky like they did and having it encompass the whole field. I feel like this is a big game changer. A lot of people talk about when Daft Punk played back in, 2006, 7, 8, whatever it was at Coachella. That was a big game changer in terms of how do you put on a stage production at a festival set like that for an EDM set. I think this is right up there. That's going to change the game for a lot of festivals. I think Bonnaroo and other big festivals should be looking at what they did last night at Coachella with Skrillex and Fortet and Fred again and seeing how they can replicate that. It is amazing. I can't stop watching it. And we haven't even talked about what a great show it actually was.
I mean, not to compare it, but, now that I think about it, I've actually seen a theater performance like this. And there's not a bad seat that you can have. I mean, it's just incredible.
Taking that concept and putting it into a headliner performance like this is just mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Everybody has been going on for about a year or two now about Fred Again's Boiler Room set over in the UK. It was a similar concept, but on a much smaller scale. So he had his table and his DJ board and everything, and everybody's just kind of crowding around. This takes that concept and puts it on a headliner stage. It gives it kind of like that Renegade set feel, but on a headliner scale.
Right.
I love this so much. I'm jealous that Coachella did it first. It's probably too late in the game for Bonnaroo to try to put this together this year. Well, take that back. I take that back because Coachella put this together in a week after Frank Ocean pulled out, right?
Yeah.
So it's possible. I don't think we could do this with Odessa, for example, because they already have like their stage plot for all of their pyro and like all of their drum line and everything. But say you've got like somebody that's going to be there that all they need is a DJ table. Maybe we could pull this off. I don't know. I'm just putting it out there. If we don't do it this year, man, Bonnaroo, if you're listening, take a look at what Coachella did with these three guys. I think this is worth trying. Could we do it in the what field? I don't know. Like, it would have to go in the middle out there. You would have to kind of move the sound booth around. I don't know the technicalities of how they did this at Coachella, but man, is this worth taking a look at. If you haven't seen the video, it's kind of hard to find because Coachella got kind of like copyright happy. They pulled everything down off of Twitter and everything. But if you dig around, look around on Reddit or a couple of different Discords, you can probably find a link to find the full set. Somebody hooked me up with one, and I'm so glad that they did. And I got kind of jealous because I looked at this and I'm like, oh man, this is so good. Do I want to like completely rethink how I'm doing a Catlow set from now on? Because the sound is amazing and everything. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about that for a moment. Charlotte, do you think we could pull this off?
I think so.
I want to take a look at it. All right, changing gears. We are going to get to an interview with the House of Yes in just a few moments, but we do have some business to get through first. Charlotte, first of all, can you remind everybody about our ticket contest?
So we have a very important ticket contest going on right now. You can actually win 2 general admission tickets to Bonnaroo.
Yeah.
So we are very, very happy to work with Bonnaroo, and they're going to give us 2 general admission tickets to give away. And all you have to do is send us an audio file telling us about all of the friends that you have met at Bonnaroo.
Or like the
friend group.
Community friend circle,
that you have met at Bonnaroo. Just, the friends that you made along the way. Just tell us a story about, the friend group that you made or someone special that you met at Bonnaroo throughout the way. Just tell us the best story, about the community friendships that you made at Bonnaroo.
Yeah, I love hearing about those connections. I think those are the best stories.
Right.
Maybe you put together your own little backyard Bonnaroo during the pandemic. Maybe you've had like a bigger event, kind of like the mini-roos that us and our friends have been doing. That's what we want to hear about.
Right. And all you have to do is record that on your phone or whatever and send it in, email it to therealroobus@gmail.com. That's therealroobus@gmail.com.
Yeah.
And I can go ahead and tell you we have not had that many entries, so you do stand a very high chance of winning. And if you already have tickets, just give them to a friend that wants to go, that doesn't have their tickets yet.
Yeah, that's not an official rule, but it is our request.
Right.
If you already have tickets, bring somebody that really wants to go.
Right.
That's a good way to sway their opinion by saying like, hey, I have tickets for you. You don't have to buy them.
Right? Exactly.
So email that to us. The deadline is the end of this month, so you just have a week or so left. So send that to us, and even if we just have a few, those are going to be the ones that go up to vote. So again, one more time, that email address is therealroobus@gmail.com. We'll look through all of the entries after the calendar ticks over into May, and then we'll hopefully give that out. Sound good?
Yes.
Now, Charlotte, before we get over to the House of Yes, we got to thank our Patreons, right? I did want to give everybody a heads up. We're starting to order some of our things out of that Patreon money. I think we're going to have some new wristbands to give out at our Where in the Woods show. And that is thanks to our Patreons, because we're taking 20% out of everything that comes from it. And the other 80% is going to go to the Bonnaroo Works Fund. Now, last week we did promise that we're going to try our best to go through first and last names.
I didn't think about that until this episode.
Yeah, well, that's okay. We're going to give it our best shot.
But some people don't list their last names. So.
That's okay.
Okay.
So if we don't say a last name, it's because we don't have it.
Okay.
But here we go. We're going to give this a shot. Let's go through the names.
Chris Horner, Skylar, Daniel Raymer, Bonnaroo,
Ernst Wellenweber,
Jordan Beachboard, Bill, Harris Williams, Brian Joseph, Keith Sears, Casey Arbuckle, Chloe Rose,
Andrew Killo,
Dave Uniball, Amanda Snyder, Aaron Lord,
Nick Wigalia,
Maddie McCracken, Sean McCain, McFerg, Bruce Butler, John Howard, Kent Summers, Michael Roberts, Randy C., Joshua Winsel.
Here's the real test. Do you remember she told you? Madison Hudzinko? I know we're not getting that right, but we promise we're trying.
Scott Hurst, Greg B., Eric and Ben Abel, Kristen Straub, Natalie Gaucher, Beyond the Hypnotic.
That is Jace.
Evan Brown, Jay Sanders, Chloe Hannon, and Sean McCarthy.
Hey, I think we actually got it. I know we may have butchered one or two there. We're trying, I promise. But yeah, again, it is at patreon.com/Rubus. We are coming up on that time. We're starting to make orders for wristbands, and we're going to do some shopping for mimosas, if you know what I'm talking about, before we go to Rue. And we are going to have a big chunk of change for the Works Fund. I'm so happy about that. Mm-hmm. So again, patreon.com/Rubus. Sharla, are you ready to have a fun interview with some of our favorite people from the House of Yes? Is it the House of Yes? The House of Yes?
The House of Yes.
Yes. Well, they did enjoy that when everybody was commenting that when they were talking about it on Instagram. But anyways, I had a fun conversation with Adam from the House of Yes. Should we jump into it now?
Yes, we should.
Yes. Hey everyone, it's Daniel. I'm here with my new friend Adam. Tell me a little bit about where you are and how you work with the House of Yes.
So I am in Brooklyn, New York. I'm one of the lead creative producers for House of Yes. I work on the team that we call Yes Etc., which leads all of our offsite projects, whether that's private parties, special events, branded things, and, big festivals like Bonnaroo.
That's awesome. Hey, so before we get started talking about your plaza at Bonnaroo, can you give me a quick history of the Brooklyn location, kind of like what you guys do up there?
So the quick and dirty with House of Yes, it was started and co-founded by Kay Burke and Anya Sapojnikova. They were best friends from Rochester, New York. They moved to the city and they were basically trying to figure out their way. They were part of all these different crazy weird art groups. The first House of Yes was a live workspace that they threw parties and sewing workshops and classes just to help, keep the rent going. And then it kind of just created this community from there. The second House of Yes was also a live workspace. And then now we are in the third iteration of House of Yes, which is the first fully legal venue. And yeah, this venue has been open since 2015.
Nice. All right. So tell me a little bit about how you guys first got involved with Bonnaroo. I know it's been, I guess about 5 years. How did you first get in touch, and what was your idea when you first started the collaboration with Bonnaroo?
Yeah, so we got in touch with Bonnaroo through one of our good friends, Jay Rinsky from Little Cinema, that we actually do the Little Cinema show at Bonnaroo every year. He got connected with Bonnaroo and basically was like, let's bring House of Yes down. And our first year was 2018. It was an incredible year. We learned so much that year. That was the year that everybody wanted to come down. And, that year we basically did way too much programming all the time without knowing anything about Bonnaroo.
No, please. Yes, there is no such thing as too much at Bonnaroo.
But it was really special. So we started out in 2018. And yeah, this will be our 4th year activating and our 5th year going down there.
Nice. I love how you guys have that barn in a very central location in what they're calling Outeroo now. Like, it's not a very far walk for anybody, no matter where you're camping at.
Oh, I love our plaza so much. I feel like Plaza 3 is the best.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. You got a good setup over there. All right, so that brings us to where we are today, and this is what I really wanted to talk to you about. So we got a lot to talk about when it comes to this stuff, but first of all, I was wondering if you could share a little tea on what you guys have planned for this year.
So this year, we're going to bring you that classic New York City queer over the top spectacle that we bring
Yes.
every year. Super excited about it. And yeah, we'll be bringing Dirty Circus back, which is our signature House of Yes circus variety show. We will be doing a special sci-fi version of Little Cinema this year. I don't want to share too much about that, but we're leaning in pretty hard with this sci-fi theme Bonnaroo's got going on this year. So expect new decor concepts when you come to the barn. Our late night dance parties are going to be a bit more themed to the overall theme. The one party that I'll share with you, actually, you know what? I'm not going to share anything. I'm
Oh,
gonna keep everyone guessing. But
okay. Well, that's fine.
I will say that for the dance parties, I do have some incredible New York City DJs coming down. Boyish, DJ Ultraviolet, and DJ Dropcat are people who like crush it here in Brooklyn and New York City and are some of my favorite DJs. So I'm really stoked to bring some like New York City club energy to the barn this year.
Yes, please.
Yeah, and then our day lounge that we do this year, we wanted to beef out our day lounge programming a little bit instead of just having it open all day long. So people can expect a moment to chill out and like soak up some really cool video content. People can also expect like a fun, wacko, interactive moment. And then we're also going to bring our crazy clown carnival by our lovely duo Laser Pants as well.
Okay.
I don't want to share too much, but I'm just dropping little things here and there.
I was going to say, okay, I have so many questions after what you just told me, but I want to back up a piece. So we're going to have a couple of people that are listening to this that are new to Bonnaroo. So could you explain a little bit more about like what exactly the Dirty Circus is?
Yeah, Dirty Circus is our classic signature House of Yes variety show. So we basically bring some of the best talent from New York City. We have everyone from drag queens, pole dancers, circus artists, dancers, burlesque performers. Yeah, and we just throw you a fabulous, fabulous show.
Oh yeah, we have been to many of those. It's one of my favorite things to do out in the camp. Hell, I will just tell you, it is my favorite thing to do in the
Ugh,
camp. You guys are
Listen, Dirty Circus is one of my favorite things to do at Bonnaroo of all the programming we do because I will honestly, during that show, you'll find me in the back corner, stage left, just literally by myself, leaned up against the wall, just looking at the crowd and soaking up the screams. People are so rowdy. It's so special. And yeah, like I do want to touch on this a little bit. I know we're chatting about programming right now, but I speak for myself and a lot of the team members here at House of Yes. When we go down to Bonnaroo, it's so special for us because over the past few years that we've really gained people know who we are now down there. We're not just the new guys. We really are like the queer thing that is there
Oh yeah.
in a place that doesn't really, the state that doesn't really celebrate all of that. But we are the queer thing. And last year, I can't even tell you the amount of times that people came up to me or anyone from House of Yes because we're a little too easy to spot, I would say. Um,
That's a good
but
problem to have.
oh yeah, people come up to us and they're like, "Hey, I got my top surgery a year ago and I took my shirt off for the first time last night at your dance party." Or like people were like, "After seeing your show, I called my mom and came out." Like it was really shocking to hear all that, the abundance of these stories that came out. And to us, it just makes us so excited to come back because we just we love it so much. Bonnaroo is a home for us, and all the performers. We bring about 50 people down from New York City, and most of these folks. We have a couple of new folks here and there, but most of these folks are like 4 or 5 and timers now. Like we are people that just we love Bonnaroo as much as Bonnaroo loves us.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Yeah, and let's touch on that for a moment. Like what you're talking about it being such an inclusive place is so integral and important at Bonnaroo because for years it has openly touted itself as being that kind of place that is home to anyone and everyone. And to be frank, I think that is more important now than it is ever, especially
Oh
in
yeah.
like Tennessee. And I know it's not the most fun subject in the world, but we've got to talk about it a little bit. Have you guys been keeping tabs on what's happening in Tennessee, and do you have anything planned in response to it?
Oh yeah, I have been I've had my Google alerts on. I've been up on all of this for months now. We were kind of just waiting for the actual hammer to drop. We have a bunch of plans loaded in, and we were basically just like waiting for the call from Bonnaroo to make sure that we could come back. And they were like, "Hey, we are in support of you. We are making this happen no matter what." So nothing about House of Yes is changing for what's going on at Bonnaroo this year. Um, but as far as like what we have planned, I mean, we're just gonna be fiercer than ever. The most, the most like the most radical thing you can do is be yourself. That's to me, like existing and being in these spaces is sometimes one of the most important and radical things that you can do. So we're just gonna be there. We're really beefing up the Pride Parade this year. That has lots of fun surprises. I think they announced Seema Funk and Big Frida. They're going to be a part of that with us this year. Um, so yeah, we are just it's really important for us, and a lot of the performers feel like it's almost like their queer duty to be a part of this and to just support everyone that's going down, like everything that's happening to our queer folks down in Tennessee.
Yeah, I think it's important to note that the people who are trying to implement these terrible new laws in Tennessee are vastly, vastly outnumbered by the people who are supportive of
Oh yeah.
everyone, about people like identifying as themselves, dressing as themselves, doing whatever the hell they want to express themselves. In fact, you and I were just chatting before we started recording. One of my favorite places in Nashville is the Play Dance Bar, like
Yeah, I love that place.
in the Capitol. Yeah. They have done an incredible job for years, and we've been in there many times with their drag shows and everything. And what you guys do is equally important to what's already home in Tennessee, like showing like, hey, Bonnaroo is a place where everyone is accepted for who they are, and we're gonna have a hell of a good time showing that.
Yeah. Yeah, we are just, I mean, to be so frank with you, Daniel, like what's happening in Tennessee right now is it's so stupid. It's
It
so
is.
crazy. They're not after drag queens. It's all masked for anti-trans legislation. We all know that.
Hmm.
But we are just, it's so wild to me that it's something that we're talking about, and it's something that to me, I just keep having to pinch myself because my life is drag. My world, my best friends are drag queens and trans people. And the fact that this whole law is weaponizing self-expression and going to basically we're just distracted from the real issues here. But and that's why coming down to Bonnaroo, we just want to create joy. That's really all we want to do. Like we just want to it's Bonnaroo is, I think, the perfect festival for House of Yes. It's the longest festival activation that we've had as an organization. It's just my first time at Bonnaroo. My first year was 2018, and I was so just like pleasantly surprised by how goofy it is.
Oh yeah.
It's so goofy. I'm like High Five Friday and all these things, and like the Happy Roo, like just the way that everyone speaks to each other is just, it's so goofy, and everybody is like, everyone is just so down. So it really fits so well. And when we announced our post yesterday on the Bonner Instagram, I just spent some time to go through those comments, and everybody was so excited to have us back, and the feeling is so 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 mutual.
Well, you have really ingrained yourself as an integral part of the community there. Like it is a must stop for everybody on the way in or the way out of Cinderu. And you mentioned something earlier about how you hang out in the back of the bar and you just kind of have like a feeling of like, look what I have created. You see everybody dancing and having a good time. I know what you mean because I help organize a few events at Bonnaroo too. It's the coolest feeling in the world. I love it so much. And I'm curious about you personally. Like after you get done overseeing some of your events, what are you looking forward to doing or seeing at Bonnaroo this year?
Oh, so much. I love Bonnaroo. I mean, there's some artists this year that I'm really excited about. I mean, I'm personally really stoked about Rina Sawayama and obviously Cheryl Crow. I'm a huge fan of Corey Wong. I mean, he was just announced to do the Super Jam, so
Yes,
that's
I just
really
saw that.
cool. That's going to be absolutely next level. So I will be there. but I love, you will find me in the Grove or at Where in the Woods during the day, if I can ever sneak away for a little bit. But I just, yeah, I love that festival so much. It's on a personal note too. Like every year that I do Bonnaroo, it's kind of like a personal check-in of just like personal growth. And I my first year at Bonnaroo, I was a volunteer and I came down because House of Yes was doing it and I wanted to be a part of it. And now I'm leading the programming on behalf of House of Yes. So it's kind of a little dream come true to me.
I know exactly what you mean. So, Adam, I got a question for you. Like, we're going to have a lot of first timers who are coming to House of Yes for the first time. And we're going to have a lot of people who want to be supportive of all these communities that we've talked about. What are some of the best ways beyond, just coming to the House of Yes and having a good time? What are some of the best ways that they can do to support everything?
Uh, be there. Just come hang out. Come say hi. I would say as far as like first timers, like tips for first timers, drink lots of water, and for House of Yes, like dress up. We want to see you dress the hell up this year. Like we're gonna be throwing some themed dance parties. Look for our themes. Come dress with us. Make sure you pack that rainbow look for the Pride Parade. Um, but yeah, we wanna see your freak flag. So we just want, yeah, we are friends of all the weirdos, so we just want everyone to come say hi.
We're all weirdos here. I hate to
Oh
tell
yeah,
you. If you're normal, you're the weirdo at Bonnaroo.
exactly.
So the Pride Parade, that's going to be on Thursday. Do you know what time yet?
Thursday, we haven't fully locked a time yet, but it'll be in the afternoon. Um, we're still working out some logistics, but it'll be in the early afternoon.
Okay, awesome. We are making a point to be there. I think many of us are going to be there first time in drag to come support everyone. Um,
Cool.
this is going to be our way of sticking it to the man this year. We're going to come showing up looking fabulous as we can.
Oh yeah, that's the only way to do it.
Adam, anything else you're excited about this year? I know you said you've got some new programming you can't spill the tea on just yet, but what else would you tell us that you're most excited about at your plaza this year?
I have a lot of new performers coming down this year that I'm really excited to share with everyone. A lot of just some of the best talent in New York City that I am so fortunate to be around. We have a couple of new dance numbers that I saw being rehearsed today, which are really cool. We have our dancers are rehearsing now for the Bonnaroo performances. So,
Nice.
we were, yeah, so that I'm really stoked for. I'm also really excited to bring back, I'm not sure if everyone got a chance to experience it last year, but we do this fun thing on Friday and Saturdays, late night from about midnight to 3 a.m. We call it Night Owl Cinema.
Oh, yes,
And
I've
we
heard
show,
that. I love that.
yeah. So this year we're bringing back our friends Handmade Puppet Dreams, which is a collection of puppet films that have been commissioned and been like artist grants to puppet artists to create these like 5 to 15 minute like puppet art films that we show that are anything from weird and wonderful and over the top to like truly heartfelt. And it is like one of the best little resets for your Bonnaroo soul at like 2 o'clock in the morning to plop yourself on a beanbag and just stare at puppets for a couple hours.
Listen, I can't say why, but you and I both know why, but you're going to really amuse and bewilder some people with that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's a blast. But yeah, I feel like I'm just like when you say what am I most excited for? I'm most excited for everything. And this is my fifth time going down. So Bonnaroo is just it's a part of my life. I go every year. It's just what we do. And it's really awesome to share it with all my House of Yes family. And it's fun to just curate a new Bonnaroo family as well.
So I have to tell you, my favorite memory of coming to visit everyone there is, I guess it was 4 years ago. You were doing one of those cinema experiences at
Hmm.
Labyrinth,
Oh
and
yeah.
there was a section when Bowie first appears. A queen came out dressed as Bowie, and that was mind blowing. It was just recently after he had passed, and I was out
Oh
there.
yeah.
If you saw me crying in the club, no, you didn't.
Oh yeah, it's so special. That was Madame Vivian V that you saw, who will be back this year hosting Dirty Circus.
Yes.
But yeah, we have Little Cinema this year. I'll share this. Little Cinema this year, we're doing a sci-fi, like a tribute to sci-fi films. So we're doing a bit of a clip show version this year and just featuring some of our favorite sci-fi films with some epic performances peppered in.
Nice. Yeah, I love that because there's such a spacey theme out in the camps this year, so that's a perfect fit.
Yeah, we're leaning really hard into the space theme. We're really excited about it.
So we need to see some alien costumes,
Oh
UFO
yeah.
victims. What are some other ideas?
Oh well, you'll. I'm not going to share too much here, but our decor this year, we're really amping up to like create a very lush, weird, celestial vibe in the barn this year. That's all I'll say.
Ooh. This man Bonnaroo's. You know exactly how to do it. All right. Adam, thank you so much for hanging out with me this
Well,
afternoon.
thanks for having me, Daniel. This is wonderful. I'm so excited.
And really, I can't brag on you guys enough. You're a favorite plaza at Bonnaroo. You've done an amazing job to make Bonnaroo be what it is by being so inclusive, by making it for everyone, by making everyone feel at home at Bonnaroo. And I wouldn't imagine it being a Bonnaroo without House of Yes there.
Oh, thank you so much for saying that. Oh, that's so sweet of you.
Well, Adam, I can't wait to see you there. I can't wait to come be fabulous with everybody at the Pride Parade. It's so fun.
I will see you on the farm, Daniel.
Thank you so much to Adam. That was awesome.
Yes, thank you for giving us a call. I had been wanting to talk to them for so long, and we were finally able to schedule it and everything. And he was so sweet. And it was amazing to learn about some of the inside baseball of like what the House of Yes is up to. They love being at Rue as much as we love having them at Rue. So we got to go party with them, and I can't wait to make this drag thing happen. Y'all need to get up with me. We're going to have some fun with that. Now, Charlotte, now we're past that. We got some end of the episode stuff. I wanted to start doing a new thing at the end of every episode until we get to Rue, and go through some of the questions that you get on the weekly Reddit thread. Now, can you tell me what that thread is?
Sure. So I'm one of the moderators on the Bonnaroo subreddit, and I have a weekly post on there where you can ask all of the Bonnaroo related questions.
Yeah. We do have a lot of first timers coming this year, it seems like.
Right. And a lot of the questions that we get are basic general things you may not know as a first timer, like what time do I arrive? What are the best shoes to wear for Bonnaroo? What is my campsite going to look like? Or what should it look like? Or what should I prepare for my campsite to look like? Things like that.
Those are the things that we're going to talk a little bit about this week. So every week between now and getting to Bonnaroo, me and Charlotte are going to kind of dig through that weekly thread and see what kind of questions that have cropped up and kind of give you our advice on that. And the things that Charlotte just mentioned is kind of what we're going to go over this week. So first off, let's talk about arrival. So back in the old days, everybody would just kind of show up at once, but now everybody picks their arrival day, which makes it a heck of a lot easier than it used to be. A lot of people are asking, what is traffic going to be like coming in? And of course, that's really hard to accurately project, right?
It's really hard to accurately project. Last year was the first time that they did the choose your arrival day. Well, last year, we had only around 45,000 people coming to Bonnaroo.
So we didn't have to worry that much.
It was a down year, so we really don't know how it's going to be this year. Hopefully, it'll be the same as last year, whereas you just drove right up and drove on in. So hopefully the traffic won't be bad at all this year.
So I can tell you that neither Bonnaroo or the city of Manchester want you to wait very long.
Right.
I think that they consider it a failure if you do have to wait very long. They certainly don't want a Hillsborough situation like many of you had a couple of years ago.
Exactly.
So they are able to take the info that they have from how many daily passes are sold. If you have bought a Tuesday pass, then they know how many people have bought a Tuesday pass. So they prepare for that based on the numbers, right? So they will give more staff if there is going to be a high capacity day. They don't know exactly what time you're coming in. So that is one thing that nobody is really going to know. You might roll right in. You might have to wait an hour. We don't know. But we do know you probably won't have to wait very long. And if you did get on that Hillsborough Road, what was about 4 years ago, you probably won't have to experience that situation again.
So technically, per Bonnaroo's website, the toll gates are open 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. However, as we saw last year, they were open past that, just that the staff was tremendously cut down after 8 p.m.
Yeah.
And it did say on the website, I believe last year, it said if you come after 8 p.m., just be prepared to wait.
My personal recommendation, and this is just Daniel's opinion and advice, is to come a little bit after lunchtime on any one of those days, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. I hope you do Tuesday because we got events coming up on Tuesday. But if you come about 1, 2 p.m., I personally have thought that that's kind of like the slow time because a lot of people want to try to come first thing, or they roll in later in the evening because they're coming in from Nashville after work or something like that.
Now, a lot of people will ask, a lot of first-timers especially will ask, oh, if I have a Wednesday pass, am I good to come Tuesday? Or if I have a Tuesday pass, am I good to come Thursday? Yes, they're not going to turn you away, because if they turn you away, that's just going to make you go back into the city of Manchester, and no Manchester person is going to want you waiting at, a local whatever. Like, you're fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, so they frown upon it, but you could probably get away with it. But you didn't hear that from us. All right, let's move over to the next thing. There's always a lot of questions about bags, specifically what can or can't I take into Bonnaroo. The rules are, at this point, it has to be a small pack, or it can be a camelback with 2 pockets, or something along those
The
lines.
bag rules are listed on the website, and because it gets asked a lot, no, your fanny pack does not have to be clear.
Yeah. Now, I will tell you this. They usually give a couple of new security guidelines when we get very close to the 3rd weekend of June. At least they have in the past. A lot of that is because, like, Bonnaroo will contract security, and they will make recommendations or guidelines after they've been hired when they get close. They kind of look at kind of like the whole festival, area to see like what is needed for a camping festival like Bonnaroo. So if you haven't made a purchase for a backpack or a camelback, I would wait until the 1st of June to make that purchase. Usually when the 3 of us, like me and Brooklyn and Sharla, are going to stores, if we see a good deal, we'll post it on like our Twitter or Instagram. Like, for example, me and Brooklyn was in Walmart the other day, and they had Easy Ups on sale for $50. Her and I were in Bass Pro Shops on the way to Okie, and we saw their version of camelbacks for just $20, actually. Pretty good deal. So I would wait if you haven't bought those kind of supplies just yet, because we don't know if there will be new security measures or not. It has happened late in the game in the past.
A few years ago, it was about 2 weeks before Bonnaroo started, there was some change to the rules on the backpacks. So yeah, that's a good point, Daniel.
And I'll tell you something else, and Bonnaroo isn't going to like me saying this, but when you come in, the rules are going to be stricter on Thursday more so than any day. That's when like a lot of the security people are going to be a little too serious about their jobs. As time goes on, the rules become a little bit more relaxed. They're not going to like that I say that, but I mean, that's the truth.
Also, again, this is not, this is just me speaking off the cuff here. I think the best way that I've heard it put, don't stress over your bag too much. Like someone on Reddit said, unless you have the cargo pant of bags, there's nothing really to stress about.
Yeah, if you're coming in with like an army backpack, they're not going to let you in. But smaller ones, let's put it this way. If you go to a security line and you see somebody that isn't, being super militant about their job, you can probably get through. I wouldn't worry too much.
Yeah, I mean, just don't bring the cargo pant of bags.
Yeah. Just be nice. Be kind, be charming, and you'll probably be okay. If you go through with a bad attitude, they're probably going to be a little bit more strict about it. Let's move to the next thing. I think this is an area where you can talk a little bit better than I. People are asking, what kind of shoes should I wear?
So there are lots and lots and lots of shoe threads in the Bonnaroo subreddit. If you search for shoes, you'll pull up all kinds of shoe threads on there. Or shoe posts, I should say.
Yeah.
A lot of people swear by Doc Martens. Personally, I'm not a fan of Doc Martens, but a lot of people swear by broken-in Doc Martens.
Yeah,
a lot of people swear by broken-in tennis shoes. Personally, I think the best thing is to bring multiple pairs of shoes and just switch them up throughout the weekend. Definitely bring some flip-flops for the showers. A lot of people will swear by Tevas or Chacos. I don't like to do that because there's been horror stories of people getting their toes crushed, when they get in the pit or whatever.
That's happened to me.
Yes. But it really, really, really just depends on what's most comfortable for you, honestly.
Yeah, and if you are thinking about doing the flip-flop thing, you can do it. You might get stepped on if you get in a crowd, but I find that the bigger hurdle for that is your feet are going to be just nasty because like it gets so dusty and so grimy.
Yeah.
By the time you come back in the evening, like you won't even recognize your own feet. It's kind of disgusting.
It's pretty bad.
So I do like light tennis shoes. Like Joseph actually gave me a pair of like these like little light canvas shoes.
Allbirds.
Yeah, is that what it is? I didn't even know that. But I wore them at Rue last year. I wore them at Burning Man. I wore them at Okie, and they got me by pretty good. All right, last one. A lot of first timers always ask about the size of their campsite. Like, how much space are they going to have? I know you answered this question a million times, so tell us again here, Sharla.
So your campsite, if you're doing regular GA, it'll be 20 by 20. Your car is going to be parked horizontally to your tent and your easy up or your pop up, whatever.
Kind of be in a line with all the other cars.
Right. So plan for that. You can literally just Google like Bonnaroo campground to get an idea of what it's going to look like, or you can go into the Reddit, or you can go into the Facebook group Bonnaroo Loophole to Reality and just click on photos in there and just look and see what everybody else has done in the past just to get an idea, of some campsite setups.
Yeah, so generally you're going to have room for your easy up and your tent and a little bit more to spare. So kind of plan on that. And one thing that I would recommend is if you already have a tent or if you've bought a new one, either way, set it up in your backyard and just see what it's going to look like and kind of get a feel for like how your easy up, pops into place, how much space your tent is taking. And just kind of mentally get a picture of what it's going to look like ahead of time so you can like make some changes.
Some people swear by not even using a tent, just sleeping under their canopy, putting up walls under their canopy. Personally, I could not do that because I like some privacy, but some people swear by it.
I mean, privacy, that concept doesn't exist at Root, really.
Well,
we're all friends here. But yeah, you're a veteran if you're doing that. If somebody's been to Peru a number of times, they're like, I don't need a tent. I'm just going to do this. You'll see it. And I wouldn't mind it. Dave and Richard from the Monkey Bar do that all the time. They have kind of like a back room to the Monkey Bar, and that's where they stay. I think it's pretty cool, but I get what you're saying at the same time. So again, we'll do one of these little segments every week leading up to Rue. We'll see what people are asking, and we'll just kind of give our advice. And if it's something we don't know about, we'll get you an answer from somebody that does, right?
Yes.
Sharla, we're also going to do weekly picks before we get out of here. Shall I go first, or should you?
You can go.
I can go first. All right. So Sharla and I picked up Barry again. Not Barry in Chattanooga. We didn't like pick him up. He wasn't hitchhiking or anything. No, we picked up Barry, the HBO show with Bill Hader. If you haven't seen this before, it's like a more funny version of Breaking Bad, but with the same guy that plays Stefan. I don't want to say too much because if I did, I would be giving spoilers for the first 3 seasons. If you got HBO, whatever it is these days, Max, HBO Max, Maximus, what are they calling it this week? I don't know. Man, it's worth going back to the prior seasons and catching up. This is going to be the last season. It's a pretty breezy watch because each episode is just a half hour long. It does get kind of dark in some places, but I think it balances it out because it's also really funny in some places. And also, shout out to Ben and Eric because so-and-so just looks just like their cat.
No, Hank.
Yeah, no, Hank looked just like their cat.
Their cat Gavin.
Yes. Yeah. All right, Sharla, what's your pick for the week?
So a lot of people I know watch Ted Lasso.
Oh, here we go.
So it's the final season of Ted Lasso, and I want to know what y'all think because it seems pretty split. Is Rebecca and Ted supposed to end up together or not?
Are we going to have the conversation me and you had? Because I'm happy to have it on the podcast.
Okay.
All right. I would be disappointed if they got together because I think they have been a great representation of a platonic relationship between a man and a woman. Okay. Like they respect each other. They're great friends. They will go after each other if they feel like they could do better. Like her as an owner to him as a coach and him telling her how she can, do better as a person. I would be disappointed if it goes that route.
Okay. No, that's fair. That's valid.
How do you feel about it?
I think that it's a fictional show and that was the very first, thing that they pushed on the show was them being a romantic couple. And I don't like how they're pushing this thing right now where the end all be all is a woman having a child and that should be her.
That is
life.
tricky. Yes.
I don't like that. But I think that the Rebecca and Ted thing, I just think that's one of the very first things that was pushed, that was presented to us on the show. So I would be a little bit disappointed if they did not end up together.
The subtext has been there.
The subtext has been there since episode 1.
Yeah, you're right.
So
we'll see.
Yeah.
I will say this season, and I'm not going to give spoilers, has kind of like spun its wheels a little bit. It's like the team is doing great. The team is not doing great. Like, is Ted going to stay there?
This season has been disappointing, I think, for a lot of people.
It hasn't been disappointing for me, but given what has happened so far, I wish it was fewer episodes so they didn't have to stretch the story out so far. Because that's been my main problem. I will say last week's episode where they go to Amsterdam was one of my favorites ever.
That was pretty good.
Oh, man. Charlotte and I have talked in the past about how we encourage those of you that are college age that listen to us to do international travel. That episode is a great explanation as to why exactly, because you can have so many different adventures and cultural exchanges and things like that. Man, Rebecca had a cultural exchange all right on that boat. That's all I'll say. Sorry, I can't talk about spoilers. Anything else you want to say about Ted Lasso?
No, that's all. That was my pick of the week.
So Barry and Ted Lasso, those are our picks since The Mandalorian has gone off now. Did you like the end of The Mandalorian?
Yeah.
That was
great,
fun. Yeah. That almost could have been like a series finale.
Ending, yeah.
But no, there's going to be more. But I'm going to talk more, but we can't talk about it because people may not have seen it yet, and I don't want to spoil it. This has been a fun episode. All this stuff and having the House of Yes on. I did. I tapped her on the leg, but it was kind of like a little punch to the leg.
No, that's going to leave a bruise.
Oh,
Thanks.
I'm so sorry. Charlotte bruises too easily. I was just like lovingly tapping her on the leg, and she's like, "Oh, I'm injured."
No, you like popped me.
No, I didn't. Well, sorry. I apologize. I don't know my own strength. All right. Well, I apologize to Charlotte, and I thank all of you for coming on with us. It's been a fun episode. We'll be back next week, of course. Please send in your entries for our ticket contest.
Please do not forget to send in your entries.
Yeah, we don't have a ton, so you have a good chance of winning.
If you are listening to this and you think, "Oh, I'm too in with the Rubus,"
no, you ain't.
Or, "Oh, I'm in the Rubus group," or "I know them too well," or whatever, I can't enter. No, anybody. This is open to anyone. Yeah. Please enter.
We will have multiple entries, and we will put it up to a vote, so we will be unbiased. That's right. So if you know us already, don't be ashamed to enter.
Right.
Like, we want to give these away because if we know you, then we know that you already have your tickets.
We're not choosing the winner. The Twitter people.
The Twitter sphere will, yeah. So please enter. You got a week left. And that email address, one more time, is?
TheRealRubus@gmail.com. All
right. Sounds good. Okay. We will see you guys next week after we commune with the ghosts of the Fitzgeralds. Hopefully, Charlotte and I have made it. Yep. All right. Until next week, get out there and radiate positivity.
Bye.
See you soon.